So people, not everyone is entirely familiar with the idea of open mic storytelling. It's not stand-up comedy. What is it?
So if people ever listen to MPBN, they might on Sundays hear a program known as The Moth, which features live storytellers, people, usually everyday people like you and me, before a microphone in front of a cast or an audience of strangers, telling stories from their own life.
So what you often do is you will pick a theme for the night, very simple, lay down that theme, and then you want people to come share their stories.
That's right. So I will pick about 5 tellers ahead of time, people who I know are really good talkers, give them each 5 minutes, but then the other 5 slots are filled by random draw from a fishbowl that I bring. So audience members can put their name in the hat if they want to tell a story, and they get a chance to tell a story if it's drawn.
People who are good at this, do they improvise or have they put a lot into it beforehand?
It depends on the teller. I think some tellers put a lot of practice into it. Others have a general sense of the things they're going to try to say but haven't scripted it out, and they go with the flow. And each approach can work well.
What kind of an emotional range are you looking for? What kind of a voyage do you want the audience to be taken on?
That's a great question. One of the things that I was struck by was when we first began the corner in October, most people who told tended to go for funny. And that was great, but I also wanted a little more poignancy. And over the course of the year, when we built in themes like broken that really call for stories that might be about a time when a person was emotionally broken, we got more poignancy. So it ranges from happy to sad to adventurous, you name it.
I'm guessing the single most important thing is no matter what your story is, what range it covers, you've got to engage the audience.
Absolutely. And fortunately, our audience is very friendly and enthusiastic and willing to engage, but our tellers also realize they can't take for granted that interest. They have to really grab them from the get-go.
All right, we've got a clip of one of the tellers,
Great.
A woman named Cody. She's talking about a performance, or talking about rather an experience that she had on a trip to Cuba. Let's take a look.
People, and the next thing I know, I'm standing in front of this like stairwell that goes downstairs with a big black door, and it's really dark, and I should be terrified because I'm with 2 men I don't know in a city I don't know, with a language I don't speak, and all I can think is like, it's like I'm going to the Cotton Club in the 1930s. I'm pumped, and I get inside, and it's beautiful. There are people dancing and drinking. I get a mojito right away, and then one of these beautiful young men who has brought me there decides to ask me to dance, and in Maine, I am known as a dancer. I've taken dance classes. I've done the Frankenstein with boys at prom, 3 feet away. But this man grabs me, he puts his hand on my hip, he pulls me close. And I'm on fire. Like every molecule in my body is alive, and I have no idea what to do. But at first I'm playing it cool. We're going back, we're going forward. I'm paying attention. I can keep up with this. I know what's going on. Until he spins me out and pulls me back in, and I kind of trip over myself, and both my palms land on his manly chest. And I have never felt a manly chest. And I am just like, I am undone. I have no idea what to do. And I look up, and he is looking down at me with this wolfish grin. And I suddenly understand what wolfish grin means. And I'm finished. Like he keeps trying to dance with me, and it just means that he grabs my hip harder in order to steer me more effectively, but I am more clumsy because he's grabbing my hip harder. And the next thing I know, he just stares down and he backs me up. And he backs me up, and he backs me up, and he's smiling, and I'm terrified. I'm terrified. This is not the thrill I was looking for. I have no idea what to expect, and he grabs me, and he spins me around, and I land in the arms of a 6-year-old woman who laughs and shakes her finger at the young man and grabs my hip the same way he did, and we started to dance. Thank you.
This has been going on now for about a year. You're coming up on your 1-year anniversary. How has it gone compared to what you hoped it would be?
It has exceeded my wildest expectations. There's been a level of enthusiasm for telling that I've been delighted by, although we can always use more tellers, maybe someday you. But also the audience, it's been standing room only, which has been far more than I expected. And I'm really excited to see in this second season our ability to sustain that energy.
And where do you want to go in the future with this? After you hit the 1-year mark, what are the plans from there?
So we're celebrating our 1-year anniversary by, among other things, hosting a champion storyteller from New York who'll be joining us to celebrate. But looking to the future, I'm eager to find more ways to engage with the community, perhaps in co-sponsoring some storytelling events with other partners in the Lewiston-Auburn area.
You just sort of threw down a casual challenge to me. Do you get up and tell stories?
I have done it 3 times, I think. I often begin the night as the first sort of sacrificial teller.
Very nice. Michael, thank you for coming in.